You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First at 4. I'm Christina Rada. We're going to take a break from our headlines right now. Let's take a look outside through our tower cam, and it's looking a little cloudy out there. We had rain in parts of the Borderland today. I know my car got some sprinkles on there, and Tirza is going to join us now with a look at our forecast. Of course, you know how much rain we're going to get and for how long.
That's right, Christina. Well, you, just like a lot of people in the Borderland, saw a little bit of sprinkling happening all the way from Thursday night going into our overnight hours, even a little bit going into this afternoon. We're seeing some very light showers moving across the region, and really that is all that we're going to get. We are looking at those potentials for flooding and very heavy rainfall today diminish as we continue to move throughout the rest of our evening. In fact, we got so little in El Paso, we didn't even register a 1/10 of an inch, and across the region, not enough to actually get onto that total. But taking a look at our radar and our satellite imagery, we do have a lot of moisture still in the region, like we just saw in our tower camera. Plenty of overcast skies, so we are going to be cooler, but we are noticing a warming up trend, and as we warm up, we notice that moisture begins to exit our area as well. But we're not done with the rain chances just yet. On Saturday, we still have some scattered thunderstorms on the radar. Come Sunday, we're looking at 88 degrees, some partly cloudy skies, and then Monday we have the green light, but we are also going to be heating up. Coming up in your full 9-day forecast, I'll break down everything, but for now, Christina, back to you.
Tirza, thank you so much. Well, if this afternoon commute takes you east on I-10 and the Spaghetti Bowl, you might want to experience some delays, so you might want to take another way around. A semi-truck fire blocked off the US 54 ramp this afternoon. Now, take a look at this stunning video from our TxDOT camera. And you can see a lot of traffic there in that area. Of course, some flames and heavy smoke. The El Paso Fire Department is working to bring it under control earlier today. El Paso Fire tells us the call came in about 2:46 and they were able to get a handle on it around 3 o'clock. That's excellent. Now, there have been no reports of injuries at this time, but if this is part of your commute, you may want to take a different route. And meanwhile, Max Grossman, the leading voice of opposition against a downtown arena, has been arrested. According to jail records, Grossman was booked into the El Paso County Detention Center yesterday and was released today. He was charged with assault, causing bodily injury, and family violence. His arrest stemmed from an alleged offense that took place on August 27th. Now, his attorney, Brian Kennedy, sending KTSM the following statement. This is ridiculous. This charge is absolutely unfounded. Our concern is whether it is an action taken to pressure Mr. Grossman into a child custody issue. We intend to completely clear his name. For years, Grossman led opposition to a downtown arena being built in the Duranguito neighborhood. Grossman is currently an associate professor of art history at UTEP. And in news from Doña Ana County, one person is dead and another injured following a single vehicle crash near Oregon, New Mexico. According to Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office, crews responded to the incident this morning around 2:30 on Corona Road. First responders say one person was airlifted to a hospital for treatment and the other died on the scene. Power lines were also brought down due to that crash. Now, at this time, the crash remains under investigation. Our newsroom continues to work to learn more about a shooting in Las Cruces that left 2 people injured yesterday. Las Cruces police say at 4:30 p.m. Thursday, officers were sent to an area near Solopec Park on a report of shots fired. Now, when officers arrived, they found 2 victims. That one was taken to a local hospital, the other airlifted to an El Paso hospital nearly 24 hours later, but there's no update on their condition or what led to that shooting. Meanwhile, a man and a woman arrested for child endangerment while driving, according to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. 22-year-old Mark Galindo and 20-year-old Evelyn Villa are charged with endangering a child due to reckless and negligent actions while driving. Deputies say on Wednesday they spotted a red pickup truck speeding and weaving in and out of traffic in Horizon. Deputies made a traffic stop and saw Villa holding a 9-month-old child on her lap without proper restraint. The pair were booked into the El Paso County Detention Facility under a $1,000 bond. We're going to take a look right now outside on our Tech cameras. Right now we are looking at I-10 and Copia. You can see the service road is very busy going east, although not a video stream. So we're going to go ahead and change our camera to another one on one of our Tech cams that we have throughout the city. All right, well, we will go back to our Tech cams in a little while and bring you that traffic report. Over in New Mexico this weekend, residents and property owners recovering from flooding in Ruidoso can get some help, some legal help, along with some donated necessities. The 12th Judicial District is hosting the Legal Fair and Relief Effort tomorrow from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's happening at the ENMU Ruidoso Branch Community College on Meckham Drive. Volunteer attorneys will be on hand to provide legal advice and assistance on a variety of topics, from disaster assistance applications to family law matters. Attendees will also be able to pick up donated goods ranging from clothing to non-perishable food. Services will be provided on a first-come, first-service basis. Governor Greg Abbott signing 3 bills into law today that focus on camp safety and flood relief. Now, all 3 bills were brought to Governor Abbott's during the second special session, August. House Bill 1 and Senate Bill 1 work together to promote youth camp safety, especially near areas prone to flooding. Senate Bill 3 increases the number of flood warning sirens in high-risk flooding areas throughout the state. Today at the governor's mansion, Abbott was joined by families that were impacted by the 4th of July flooding, sharing their pleas for change so other parents don't have to experience the same loss that they have.
Install and maintain emergency alert systems. Train staff on evacuation routes and procedures. Require them to develop emergency plans. Require cabins to be located away from floodplains. Require camps to be able to communicate with campers and staff during emergencies. They create a youth camp safety team, establish minimum camper to counselor ratios, mandate state inspections to ensure compliance with emergency procedures.
All right, we're going to go to our national news now. New data release shows how the U.S. labor market is performing. In today's Political Minute, Mike Vaquera has the details.
The August jobs report sets off alarms. I'm Mike Vaquera, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. New government data released Friday shows that U.S. employers added 22,000 jobs last month, but economists expected that number to be 75,000. In all, the weakest August for job growth since 2010. The unemployment rate in the United States ticked up slightly in August. In July, it was 4.2%. Now it's 4.3%. Some notable sectors include healthcare, adding 31,000 jobs, and social assistance, adding 16,000. On the downside, the federal government shedding 15,000 jobs in August. That's down almost 100,000 since January, as the Trump administration cuts the government workforce. Average hourly earnings rose 10 cents in August to $36.53. That's up 3.7% over the past year. And this is the first jobs report released since President Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the agency that publishes this monthly report. I'm Mike Vaquera, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Coming up, a former cheerleading coach faces charges for invasive visual recording found in El Paso gym bathrooms. We hear from viewers in our In Comments segment. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles beat their division rival Dallas Cowboys in a hard-fought game in more than just a bit. Thanks so much for watching KTSM 9 News First at 4, putting local first.
$99 a month. Come get your great deal. Shop Mission Chevrolet, where it's all about you.
Welcome back. 2 recording devices were found in bathrooms at an El Paso gym for youth cheerleading organizations, recording people without their consent. As KTSM previously reported, Christopher Sotelo, a former cheerleading coach with the Texas Bandits All-Stars cheerleading organization, was arrested on August 29th and charged with 2 counts of invasive visual recording. He posted bond on August 30th. Now, an employee at the gym allegedly found a small black and rectangular shaped object similar in shape to a smartphone. Now, that was in one of the bathrooms. Another employee checked the second bathroom and located an item that appeared to be a pen on top of a decorative item above the toilet, wrapped in a small piece of paper towel. We shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts that you wanted to share. Edith Perez writes, went to high school with this guy, was in band with him and hung out a couple of times, although it's been some years. I could have never imagined this. This is sickening for sure. Gilbert Marquez writes, lawsuits coming. And Benjamin Angels commented, sickening. Commenters definitely feel strongly about this case. Now, the investigation is ongoing. Authorities have not yet disclosed a possible motive, and it remains unclear whether other recordings exist, if any additional victims may be involved as well. Here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. Make sure you're following us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us throughout the comment section. Next, leaders in Washington are walking a very, very delicate line between friend and foe with Silicon Valley executives. More on President Trump's gathering with tech CEOs. This is KTSM 9, first at 4.
Call my office today at 915-544-5200.
Welcome back. The city wants to remind you to take advantage of their spray parks this weekend. El Paso Parks and Recreation announcing that U.S. summer wraps up, so the parks will be closing for the season on Monday, September the 8th. The parks will be open through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. This weekend's temperatures should be just right for some water punk fun. Tirza Ortiz joins us now with a look at our forecast. And Tirza, we were talking about it earlier, just so cloudy right now.
Right. I wouldn't probably go today, but tomorrow might be good in the earlier hours. Sunday will be very beautiful if you do want to go ahead and take advantage of the last days of that spray park. And I can't believe we're already ending summer going into fall. But you know what? The temperatures are reflecting that, at least for the weekend. We are cooling down. And if you haven't been outside yet, we're also looking at very overcast skies. So conditions are looking good right now out the door. We're looking at 79 degrees in El Paso. Very light winds moving at 9 miles per hour, and that humidity continues to drop. We're going down to 50%, and the chance to see some very heavy rainfall and thunderstorms are also beginning to diminish as we continue to move throughout the rest of our Friday. I can't say the same for tomorrow, but we'll get there in just a little bit. Over in Las Cruces, 76 degrees, mostly cloudy skies as well, and again, very light winds moving at 10 miles per hour across the rest of the region. We're looking at very similar temperatures, 76 degrees over in Las Cruces, 79 over in Deming, 78 over in Silver City. TRC a little bit on the warmer end, 81 degrees, but still nothing like we've seen before. 77 over in Alamogordo, and of course Ruidoso 66 with Cloudcroft at a very cool 58 degrees. Now, as for those wind gusts, they are tracking a little bit on the higher end. We're looking at 19 miles per hour in El Paso, 12 over in Juarez, and 17 over in Las Cruces. If you do have any plans outdoors, make sure that you are really holding down those hats or maybe putting that hair up, because those wind gusts are really going to be blowing at least for the next hour or so. For our lows tonight, we're dropping down to those upper 60s over here in El Paso and in Juarez, 63 over in Las Cruces. TRC, you're looking at 62 with Deming at 61 degrees. Now focusing on El Paso for tonight, especially if you're heading out to Minor Palooza or potentially any high school football games, I think you'll be in the clear. We do have some scattered showers potentially on the horizon as we move into our evening hours, but again, they won't be those thunderstorms, so lightning should not be a problem. 67 degrees for that low tonight, and we're going to continue to look at overcast skies. Winds will be very light at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Las Cruces, very similar conditions, 63 degrees, mostly cloudy skies with scattered showers potentially in our evening hours. As for tomorrow, a high of 83 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Some thunderstorms are potentially going to be happening in the evening hours as we move into our overnight hours. And with that, of course, we do have heavy rainfall and the chance to see some isolated flooding. Las Cruces, very similar, 82 degrees, some nighttime showers and storms. And of course, the day will begin cloudy, gradually become more sunny before we get into the evening hours, where again, overcast will pretty much dictate most of that evening. For allergens, we do a little bit of a roller coaster for our Saturday. We're looking at a mild number at around 9. We drop down for our Sunday. We're looking at 6, and then we get back up to 8 for our Monday. And then, of course, for our 9 hours, we are looking at the chance to see some showers as we continue to move throughout the rest of the evening. Go ahead and take a look at the board. Really not too major. We can see some scattered showers here or there across the borderland, but like I mentioned, we should not be seeing some thunderstorms, which is really great for football. So overall, looking good, and I will have more details in your full 9-day forecast, but don't go anywhere. Stay with KTSM Plus.
I'm Monica Cortez, and you're watching KTSM 9 News.
Well, turning now to the opening night of the 2025 NFL season, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles beat their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys, in a hard-fought game that included a lengthy weather delay. Kaylee Hartung brings us all the action.
There were plenty of fireworks in Philadelphia as two arch rivals kicked off the NFL season.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. Takes off. Jalen Hurts. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
The Birds soaring to victory over the Cowboys, but not without some drama just after the opening kick.
I got no idea what he's thinking.
Eagles star defensive lineman Jalen Carter ejected after spitting on Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott.
That was selfish, disrespectful. You cannot do that.
More of the interaction revealed later.
Prescott in the huddle walks out between his offensive linemen, and Dak spits down towards the ground, but in the direction of the Eagles. And that begins the interaction of the two.
What Dak did was not a foul.
Right.
What Jalen did was a foul.
Both teams moving on, lighting up the scoreboard in the first half. The only thing that could slow the action, the weather. Lightning in the third quarter, delaying play for over an hour before Jalen Hurts and the Eagles were able to put the finishing touches on the victory.
It's a new team. It's a new journey.
Tonight, the stage is set for a marquee matchup in Brazil as the Chiefs and Chargers, two teams with big playoff dreams, prepare for battle.
We're getting to bring the game that we love to them.
Kansas City Stars trying to put last season's Super Bowl disappointment behind them. Travis Kelce asked if it's difficult to keep his focus on the field in light of his recent engagement to Taylor Swift.
I got one more ring from it. I would say ever since I've been dating Taylor, life has been fun. You know, it's been exciting.
And there's more excitement ahead in a must-watch week 1, with huge rivalry games setting the tone. The Bills hosting the Ravens, the Lions facing the Packers, and the Vikings lining up against the Bears, as the quest for Super Bowl 60 is now officially underway.
That was Kaylee Hartung reporting, but that does it for us here on KTSM Plus. Don't go anywhere. We have another half hour of news and weather coming up on KTSM 9 News, first at 4.
No one else. I'm Andy Morgan, and alongside our team at KTSM 9 News, we're proud to put local first.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 News First at 4. Now, in case you missed it, the man originally arrested in a deadly crash that took the life of a 17-year-old in Horizon last year is no longer facing any charges. The district attorney announcing charges have been dropped and prosecutors are now searching for a brand new suspect. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo explains why and how the victim's family says they're still seeking justice.
You also have children, grandchildren, nephews, and we don't want something like this to happen to them.
Heartbreak and frustration from the family of 17-year-old Miguel Angel Romero, who was killed in a crash in Horizon last February. Romero was crossing Darrington Boulevard when a truck hit him and fled the scene.
A witness to the collision stopped, was rendering aid to Mr. Romero, but then got back in her car to head this direction. Approximately a mile down the road, she observed a red truck, and she took a picture of that truck and reported that truck as the offender.
That led police to 55-year-old Oscar Solis. Officers said they found an open container of alcohol and learned he had a prior history with DWI. Now, Solis was arrested and charged in Romero's death. His trial was set to begin this year. Fast forward to this week. District Attorney James Montoya confirmed those charges were dismissed months ago.
Our ethical obligation is very clear, and that is to not pursue the case and to dismiss it. And so that is what has occurred here.
Investigators said blood tests showed no alcohol in Solis' system. DNA swabs in his truck came back negative. Investigators also pointed out differences, saying Solis' red truck did not match the maroon pickup caught on surveillance video. Now they're back to square one, searching for the driver responsible. While Miguel's family says they will not rest until justice is served.
This is not going to bring my brother back, but we have faith that it's going to bring us a little bit of peace, knowing that the person responsible is paying for their actions.
That was Diana Castillo reporting. If you have any information on the driver of the maroon pickup truck, you can call the Horizon Police Department at the number that is on your screen. Friends continuing to remember the man killed over the weekend while riding his motorcycle. Alejandro Rodriguez was rear-ended by a car and thrown off his bike. He didn't survive. Now his friends still struggling to comprehend the loss, saying that Rodriguez was an extremely cautious motorcyclist, always championing safety. But as big as Rodriguez was on motorcycle safety, he often said there's a lack of consideration for motorcyclists on El Paso roads.
He had his gear, he had his pads, he had his helmet, and then he had his camera. But he would tell me, hey, these drivers, they don't respect, motorcycles. Everybody's going around cutting them off.
Now, Alvarez helped set up a GoFundMe for Rodriguez's family to cover funeral expenses. You can find that information by clicking the story over on our website, ktsm.com. We go now to our D.C. newsroom. Leaders in Washington are walking a delicate line between friend and foe with Silicon Valley executives. President Trump held a friendly gathering with the tech CEOs on Thursday. Meanwhile, several Democrats and Republicans are pushing for regulations on Capitol Hill. Our DC's Raquel Martin has this story.
This is definitely a high IQ group.
This week, President Donald Trump summoned the nation's top tech execs to the White House to discuss artificial intelligence. Leaders from Meta, Google, OpenAI, Apple, and Microsoft each shared their progress.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
$600 billion.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
President Trump says he's working with the group to ensure America leads the AI revolution.
We're making it very easy for you in terms of electric capacity.
Beyond Pennsylvania Avenue, however, the meeting is setting off alarm bells for some.
These are some of the wealthiest corporations in the history of the
world.
Rick Claypool is a researcher with advocacy group Public Citizen. He says the president's AI action plan shields big tech from lawsuits, an effort already underway. According to his research, the Trump administration has dropped 160 corporate suits since January, and 1 in 4 were in the tech sector.
It makes it hard to trust fair law enforcement against real misconduct protections that that are essential for protecting consumers, the public.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley is refusing to let big tech off the hook.
Zuckerberg and his company have gotten away with all kinds of wrongdoing for years.
He just penned a letter to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg over reports Facebook's AI chatbot sent explicit messages to children.
If this were a human who was engaging in these kind of conversations with kids, we'd prosecute him.
Good afternoon. First Lady Melania Trump is also taking up the issue. She lobbied to pass the bipartisan Take It Down Act. It increases penalties for those posting revenge porn, including those altered with artificial intelligence. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
And we're going to take a look through our tower cam right now at some pretty cloudy skies coming down on El Paso. Let's go, though, now to Tirsa Ortiz for a look at your forecast, and she can tell us if there's more cloudy skies in our future.
Well, Christina, I'll tell you what, we are looking pretty cloudy. Overcast has really been the theme for the majority of our Friday, but I want to say I think we're in the clear now. Hub Sports, if you're out there hearing me, I think you guys should be pretty good for football. It looks like we will get scattered showers as we continue to move throughout the rest of our Friday, but in terms of thunderstorms and seeing that lightning, I don't think we'll get too much of that, if any at all, for tonight. So I think football games should be in the clear. We do have a flood watch, though, for the Ruidoso area, so really that is going to expire around midnight, and then we should be pretty good as we move into our Saturday, but we're not done with the rain just yet. We still have plenty of overcast skies and moisture coming from Tropical Storm Lorena, so that is going to carry over into the beginning of our weekend. And now as we begin to dry out, we're also warming up. We have a bit of a warming trend happening as we continue to move into next week, where we will be in those mid 90s to even upper 90s as we continue to get into the month of September. But like I mentioned, Saturday, we still have the chance to see some heavy rainfall, some thunderstorms in the evening hours. We will get into that in just a little bit. But overall, for Sunday, we should be good. And by Monday, we should be in the clear. Looking at that moisture beginning to diminish. I will have more details in our full 9-day forecast. But for now, Christina, back to you.
Sounds very good. Thank you, Tirza. Well, just in time for back to school, there's a store full of supplies for local teachers, and it's all free. What teachers can do when they see a student that's struggling and has a specific need, maybe something like new sneakers. Jimmy Tucker is here to show us how it all works.
Hundreds of teachers have already come through this teacher supply store from all over, as you can see from all of the schools on the whiteboard. Everything here is free to teachers. Victory Christian Church used to do thousands of stuffed backpack giveaways.
And then I found out a lot of stuff we filled the backpacks with, it really wasn't needed, and so it's like, wait a second, I'm doing it wrong here.
Here, teachers can pick out the specific things their students will need and use, including very pricey calculators, even musical instruments.
They can come and say, yeah, this kid really needs it. And I think that's the best way to really see the need and then meet the need.
And if during the school year a teacher sees a student needs new sneakers or shoes, which is very common, they can get brand new, brand name sneakers like Nike, for example. Pastor Charlie Muller says teachers should not have to bear the burden for school supplies.
My heart is that every school would budget more so that the teachers could have what they need, because a lot of the teachers have to take it out of their pocket. And today, listen, things are very expensive today. And teachers, if you're just getting out of school and you've got school debt, you want to, but you really can't buy for these kids. And so we let them come and get what they need.
That was Jimmy Tucker reporting. Well, coming up, KTSM is highlighting influential people in the Borderland. We'll introduce you to Cinta de Oro in just a little bit. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 News first at 4, putting local first.
Legal Matters, sponsored by Mendez Isaac Jody, attorneys at law.
I'm Oscar Mendez, a partner at Mendez Isaac Jody Law Firm here in El Paso.
Many individuals don't know that in Texas, some employers opt out of the workers' compensation system. These employers are known as non-subscribers. If you are employed by a non-subscriber and sustain an injury in the workplace, you have the right to pursue legal action. You may be entitled to compensation for your lost wages, medical expenses, and pain and suffering. Our firm has assisted workers with a variety of injuries, including back and neck injuries, broken bones, fire and electrical burns, and amputations. In Texas, you have 2 years from the injury to file a claim. Delaying legal action could result in losing the right to file a claim. At Mendez Isaac Jody, we are dedicated to serving the hardworking community of El Paso. If you've been injured on the job and your employer does not have workers' compensation coverage, I encourage you to visit mijlawfirm.com to schedule a free consultation with us. Discuss your legal options to secure the proper evidence before time runs out. We fight for El Paso every day.
Legal Matters, sponsored by Mendez Isaac Jody, attorneys at law. Log on to ktsm.com/legal matters for more info.
happy Friday, Borderland. If you didn't notice, we did go ahead and lift that weather authority alert because it looks like the storms won't be hitting us today. We are missing that heavy rain and chances to see some flooding, at least here in El Paso and really throughout much of the Borderland, except for, of course, Ruidoso, where we are still under a flood watch. But taking a look at El Paso right now, conditions are currently at 79 degrees, very light winds moving at 9 miles per hour, and our humidity is still at 50% as we're moving into our evening hours. For Las Cruces, 76 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Again, very, very light winds, 9 miles per hour. Overall, very beautiful conditions. If you're heading out, maybe leaving school or getting ready for a football game, conditions should be still overcast with potential for light rain in the evening. Now, right now, taking a look at temperatures across the rest of the region, Ruidoso at 66 degrees, Cloudcroft at 58, 79 over in Alamogordo, 81 over in TRC, really quite warm over there with Deming slightly cooler, 79, and Silver City at 78 degrees. Now, taking a look at those wind gusts, these are tracking a little bit on the higher end. TRC is looking at 17 miles per hour, 10 over in Silver City, 14 over in Las Cruces. El Paso has dropped down only a little bit to 10 miles per hour, and then 11 over in Juarez. Overall, these should calm down, though, as we continue moving into our overnight hours. Now, for tonight, we'll be dropping down to those upper 60s in El Paso, 63 over in Las Cruces, 62 over in TRC, 61 in Deming, and 55 over in Silver City. Taking a look, though, at what to expect for tomorrow, because we are missing the heavy rain today, does not mean we are in the clear just yet. We could still potentially see some threats of flooding and heavy rain in our later afternoon, early evening hours, even going into our overnight hours after midnight for our Saturday. And of course, the chance for thunderstorms will be there. We won't have as much cloud cover, so of course that surface is going to begin to heat up, making for a very unstable environment, which of course equates to thunderstorm possibilities. But again, that will be in the evening. 83 degrees for our high, partly cloudy skies, and very light winds from the southwest at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Almost a copy and paste for you, Las Cruces, 82 degrees. And of course, those evening showers and storms are potentially going to be there. We will begin the day pretty cloudy, and then things will clear up to be rather sunny before we see the overcast skies come again in the evening hours. Checking out those allergens, 9 for your Saturday, 6 comes Sunday, and then 8 for Monday. So really not as high as we've been seeing, but still on the higher end if you are pretty sensitive to allergens. For the rest of our 9 hours, go ahead and take a look at our board. We do have some shower chances going all the way until 2 a.m. Cloudy skies, really scattered showers will potentially be happening across the region. Nothing too major, though. It should be very, very light. And then as for the rest of our 9 days, the only active day we really have on the board is going to be our Saturday, where we are looking at those scattered thunderstorm possibilities in the evening. And then after that, we just begin to warm up and we welcome the sun once again as we look at our mostly sunny skies, I should say, going into next week. Christina?
Tirza, thanks so much. KTSM is highlighting influential people in the Borderland, and today we introduce you to wrestling icon Cinta de Oro. Our Monica Cortez got a chance to talk with him about his journey to stardom and how he's giving back to the community that he loves.
Hey everyone, well, we're starting a brand new segment where we are interviewing successful and iconic people across the entire region. And what better way to start off than the one and only Cinta de Oro. He's right here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This is amazing. I can't believe I'm standing right next to him. So, thank you for being here with us. I guess the biggest question for me is, why lucha libre?
Well, lucha libre, it's a passion in the border town of El Paso, Ciudad Juarez. I grew up watching lucha libre. My grandfather used to take me when I was a little kid to El Josué Neri Santos in Ciudad Juarez. As far as I can remember, ever since I saw lucha libre, I was like, I want to be that. I want to be a superhero. I want to be a real life superhero, right? De carne y hueso. Since I was a little kid, I wanted to be around wrestlers, and it's hard to explain. I guess when I saw it, something clicked on me, and that's all I wanted to do.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you. So in this segment, we kind of want to talk to those people that have aspiring dreams. When I think of becoming a wrestler or becoming an athlete for that matter, I think that dream is unattainable. What do you have to say about that?
I have an example. My son, he's 16 years old now. He's going to make his debut September 6th, so I'm excited for him. I'm also nervous at the same time, but I understand that he has worked all his life for this moment. And I think that teaches you discipline, that no matter what you do in life, that even any job, and you realize that you have to have struggles, you have to have, different things in your life that's going to make you better. And the only way that's going to make you better is by understanding that everything in life has a cost. It's not easy.
And based off of that, I know that you are such a successful person, and yet you still find the time to give back to the community. Talk about what you're doing here for El Paso.
Well, the Boys and Girls Club, it's a place that I grew up in. I'm a kid born in the Segundo Barrio. Growing up, obviously my dream was to become a wrestler, and I went to school, and then when I got to high school, I ended up joining the wrestling team because I wanted to become a professional wrestler. But I was very successful doing that too because I was very passionate, I was very dedicated for what I did. And for me, being able to come back to the Boys and Girls Club after many years to give back and be able to do what I love the most it's been amazing because you see the passion that kids have, but sometimes they don't have the means economically, or there's not a wrestling ring to train outside like in the park. If you go to a park, you see basketball courts, baseball, all kinds of things, but for wrestling is very, very hard. For me, the only way that I can give back is through that, to what I've learned, to what I've done in my life, which is wrestle.
All right, so my last question for you is, what is the hardest move you would say in lucha libre?
For me, one thing that was really hard for me, or that it was very dangerous, was when I wrestled in WrestleMania 32. It was an intercontinental title match, ladder match. It was an amazing match. It was, we used ladders, and I did amazing things of the ladder out to the outside and put myself in danger. But at the moment, I didn't really thought about it. It was just like, I got to do it because this is my passion. This is what I do, and it was a great time. It was probably one of the best times of my life. When the match finished, I remember that I was on the floor, and I started crying inside my mask. The other mask that I used to wrestle with, my eyes were covered, so you couldn't see me. But it was just everything that I had worked for so long. I get the chills. Look, everything that I had worked for so long in my career, being able to get that moment and be in the pinnacle of my career, over 100,000 people watching the stadium, it was amazing.
Cinta de Oro, thank you so much.
Thank
It was such a pleasure. Well, that does it for us on KTSM Plus. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with KTSM 9 News, first to fourth.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by OneSource Federal Credit Union.
Thanks for tuning in to another Financial Fridays. Keeping your information safe is a high priority, so we want to let you know about another scam, Cushing, short for QR code phishing. This is an identity fraud scam utilizing QR codes. Have you ever scanned a QR code and ended up at an unfamiliar or strange website? Scammers are also posting physical copies of QR codes in high traffic locations. What should you do? Think. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Be extra cautious when scanning QR codes from untrusted emails, signs, or flyers. Report. Contact your financial institution or the company that the scam artist is impersonating so that they can alert others and work with law enforcement. Block spam messages. Call your phone's carrier customer service number and instruct them to block all text and multimedia messages sent to you as email. You also might be able to log into your account and activate these blocks yourself. As a valued member of OneSource FCU, we want to help protect your personal information, your identity, and ultimately your hard-earned money. Why? Because we're OneSource. Of course.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by OneSource Federal.
savings account at Rice Federal Credit Union. Go to KTSM.com and click on the contest tab to enter.
All right, Borderland getting a final look at your exclusive 9-day forecast for tonight. We're looking at very light showers going into our evening hours and potentially even overnight. And really the threat for heavy rain continues for our Saturday. This really is the biggest chance that we'll potentially see some thunderstorms before we start to heat up and dry out as we continue to move throughout the rest of our work week. We're looking at temperatures going back into those upper 90s before we drop back down into the lower 90s to end out the rest of this 9-day forecast. Overall, though, looking good for your football Friday.